I think it was essential to start an organization like Aurora for like-minded women.
During that time, there were immigrants coming from the South who were leaving the South because of the violence against them there. They were coming north, and a lot of them settled in Pittsburgh.
And Aurora formed to form a safe place to discuss books, art, literature, science. And my grandfather always said, knowledge is something that can't be taken from you.
It's so important to have safe spaces like that, especially the world around us is not always so kind. And to know that you always have that safe space with this group of women, there's nothing like it.
It continues to be a very vital part of the community, and I'm just proud to be a member of it.
For more than 30 years, Thelma Lovett Morris and Inez Miles have been friends. They share a love of family, good conversation, and the Aurora Reading Club.
I learned about the Aurora Reading Club from my ancestors. My great-great-aunt was the founder, Rachel Lovett Jones, and my great-grandmother, Hannah Greenwich Lovett, was the first president. So she was one of two family members who were charter members of Aurora. As a little girl, I remember helping my Aunt Carrie, Caroline Lovett, who was the daughter of Hannah, pick flowers from her beautiful garden when she was going to entertain the ladies from Aurora.
And the thing that I really liked about Aurora was the ladies were such ladies. And they all shared a love of reading and the arts. And coming from a small town, I just really enjoyed being exposed to African American women who were cultured. And if they wanted to do things to improve their minds, to participate in cultural activities, they had to form groups because it was segregated at that time, of course. And they formed groups to lift as we climb. That was the motto of a number of African American women's groups in that time period, to lift as we climb.
And so this group of women decided they were going to have an organization that they could feel a part of. They didn't have to wait and hope that maybe someone might extend an invitation to them in some other organization. They created their own.
There was a wide variety of backgrounds of women in the group, so everyone wasn't a rubber stamp of each other. And that's how you best learn, sharing ideas with people from diverse backgrounds.
From its earliest days to the present, the women of Aurora have been risk takers and history makers.
We've had outstanding women who have done groundbreaking things in a number of areas. Martha was the first Black woman to graduate from Pitt Law School. Her grandmother, Emma Ritt, was very actively involved in the suffrage movement. And the stories just continue from each decade.
Let me just also mention another significant member of ours, and that was Maida Springer Kemp. Maida had been a union organizer in the Women's Garment Union and was very, very active.
And Vivian Hewitt was one of our oldest living members. She recently passed. She was the first African American librarian in Pittsburgh.
As important as it is for Aurora members to lift up, it's also vital that they give back.
We support financially Gwen's Girls and Women's Space East. They also support the Shenley Heights Community Development after school enrichment and tutorial program. So in various aspects, we try to be supportive.
And while Aurora is distinguished by its historic membership and community support, it's the love of books and reading that remains essential.
Well, I think reading is key to ensuring that we continue to educate ourselves and be lifelong learners. It can open up windows and opportunities that young people might never have thought of, but for reading a book.
Fittingly, We visited the Senator John Heinz History Center during an exhibit called A Woman's Place: How Women Shaped Pittsburgh. We sat down with Dania Childress to learn more about Aurora's origin story.
The Aurora Reading Club, which was founded in 1894 with the motto "Lifting as we Climb," and it predates National Association of Colored Women Clubs by 2 years. And they have just been at the forefront of not just lifting their communities, but also mentoring.
Post-Civil War, African American women formed groups to fight for the right to vote, challenge racial injustice, and demand equal rights.
And being one to show the way of the different morals of the time, there was really a stigma, still is today, but on what is respectability for African American women. They tried to make sure that they were teaching some of the literature and art of the day.
That emphasis on reading, education, and community comes together in a sculpture carefully stored at the History Center's archives, Reflections of an Aurora Woman by Vanessa German.
In the center of it is a picture of their founder, Rachel Levitt Jones. On the bottom it says Ghana, so this as a toast to the motherland. I think with the Aurora Reading Club, since this generation and future generation, it comes back to the very beginning of who they are, lifting as we climb.
For historian Pamela Golden, the Aurora story is also family history.
I have been a member of the Aurora Reading Club for roughly 30 years. I joined in 1996. And because my grandmother and my mother, I'm actually a fourth generation member. And then two of the charter members, Virginia Proctor and Frances Golden, who were great aunts, were members. I really feel like for Aurora members that it starts with reading, it's about the books and self-improvement, and that becomes a rallying point. And we also attend Pittsburgh Arts and Lectures to hear directly from authors. And our first real effort in that area was when Isabel Wilkerson came to talk about the warmth of other suns. And that was the start of our partnership with Pittsburgh Arts and Lectures.
As historian, Pam curates and collects records and artifacts of the organization's history.
So what I try to do is collect memorabilia from our members year after year. We created a scrapbook as our second legacy project, and each member had, at that time, 2 pages. One page focused on family, work life, and home life, and the other page was the connection to Aurora and the contributions that particular member may have made.
One of the most treasured items also stored at the History Center is the Aurora quilt.
The quilt was our first legacy project, and each member made a patch that told their story of their connection to family and Aurora. And then we worked with Tina Brewer, who was wonderful and amazing, and then it was put together to complete the quilt as a whole piece. So that's one of the ways that we've captured our history over the years.
Like the quilt squares, Aurora is a proud combination of its past and future.
I'm very proud of what we do to engage people in reading, connecting people with authors, our community service projects, giving back to the community, to what we do to support each other as members, and what we do to support our community at large.
The theme for the group and its 130th year is respect the past, honor the present, and plan for the future. That theme was well represented by veteran Aurora members as well as new.
Keep smiling.
This is my first year, so this is actually probably only my second event with the group. Oh, it's very important because the women, the fellowship, the community, it's just a wonderful way to connect to people in this very digital world and to open a book every once in a while and escape from reality. I love it.
I'm Regina Wilson. I'm the 116th president of the Allegheny County Bar Association. I think it's important to be a member of the Aurora Reading Club, first and foremost because I love to read, but also to be part of this wonderful tradition and the legacy and the impact on the community of Allegheny County.
My grandmother was Emma Bell Ritt, and she was a suffragist. I'm so proud of this club to have maintained its traditions all these years. We have minutes going back, to the early 20th century, and I'm just really proud to be a member.
I think the connectivity with Aurora is so important because ultimately it's about sisterhood. It's about knowing that you have this beautiful group of African American women who are accomplished, driven, and amazingly passionate people.
I think that Rachel Levitt Jones and the 5 charter members were just really strong-willed, smart women who knew that there was more to life, and not to demean in any way homemaking or anything like that, but they weren't going to be held in one place and weren't going to have others define their lives or their futures. And I don't imagine that they knew 130 years ago what they were starting, and that we would be here today celebrating their good work.